You're going to be assisting your mother in today, right?
Yes, sir.
And the defendant in today's case, Stonewood Dental, being represented by Mr. Steve Childress, you're the owner, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. This case involves a suit. It's a small claim suit. You, Ms. McCutchen,
Yes.
filed a petition in my court. Petition
Yes.
is also known as a sworn complaint.
Mhm.
In your sworn complaint, you indicated that Stonewood Dental was taking $25 from your account. They said that I'm just repeating your words. They said that I no longer had insurance policy with them. I did not, uh, I didn't, I did not, the policy, I just did not know the policy, I guess. Would you be able to explain? Policy not in effect. I checked on when I went, my husband for his appointment. They stopped taking my money on June 20th, 2020, June 2025. They never contacted me, letting me know anything about the policy being out. And so you are seeking damages in amount of $1,825. And this was money that was taken from your bank account when you were thinking that you still had the dental insurance policy.
Yes.
And so what's going to happen is you're going to be able to speak first, Ms. McCutchen, being assisted by your daughter. It's going to be up to you to provide proof to me that they owe you the $1,825 based on your sworn complaint. While you're speaking, Ms. McCutchen, I'm going to ask that you, Mr. Childress, refrain from interrupting Ms. McCutchen or Ms. Jones
Yes, sir.
in your mid presentation. And then once you're through, Ms. McCutchen and Mrs. Jones, I'm going to consider you to be at rest.
Okay.
Then afterwards, I will give you, Mr. Childress, the opportunity to defend yourself. It'll be up to you to provide proof to me that you do not owe the plaintiff the amount of money that she has indicated on the petition, also known as a sworn complaint. And while you, Mr. Childress, is speaking, I'm going to ask that you, Mrs. Jones and Ms. McCutchen, refrain from interrupting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Throughout the hearing, I will ask questions just to develop the facts of the case. I want to make sure that I gather as much information as I can to make a good decision, okay?
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Any questions before we get started?
Okay.
All right.
No, sir.
You may find me this way, or I may be looking down.
Okay.
It is a hybrid hearing.
Okay.
And my screen is to my right, so it's a bad habit. But I will try my best to focus the attention, whereas I do have Mr. Childress in front of me on my camera, and I have you to my left, to your right. All right, with that being said, without further ado, Ms. McCutchen, tell me why you believe the Stonewood Dental owes you this money. Go ahead.
Okay. My granddaughter, she chipped her tooth, and Stonewood Dentists were our dentists for since she's been, I guess, 12 years old. So I called and I got a dental appointment for them to fix her tooth. The dental there told me that it'd be better to take off an insurance, a dental insurance, and then if anything happened, she has more extra money for her dental. I called, Danielle went to the dentist in 19.
Can I go ahead and speak?
Sure.
Okay, and so this, my niece.
Hold on. Sorry. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I put the cart before the horse. Everyone needs to be sworn in.
Okay.
You can raise your right hand for me, please.
Okay.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
And just to make sure everything that you stated under oath thus far is true and accurate to the best of your ability. Is that correct?
Okay.
Okay, may proceed. Go ahead.
Okay.
So this dental plan was originally for my niece, who was a minor at the time that my mother has raised since she was an infant. And so this goes back about 10 to 15 years ago. Okay, and so the monies started coming out way before even 2019. I know we have bank statements that we presented, and this is before 2019. And so the last time that my niece has actually went in to the provider and used the insurance was about 2019, 2020. After that, she presented to go in again after COVID or so, and she was told that she no longer had the insurance and that they couldn't find it on file. She couldn't use it any longer. So from that point, we it was COVID time, things kind of closed, so that time kind of passed. But in 2025, she went in again to try to use it, and again, she was told the same thing. So at that time, we started contacting, I believe it was the bookkeeper of the dental office, asking them about the plan. They had no knowledge that this money was ever taken out of our account, according to them, because the business had been sold from one dental to provider or owner to another one.
So what was the original dental provider?
It was the same name, but I guess maybe it changed ownership. We really don't know. This is just what we're being told by the bookkeeper at this point in time.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that I'm following you correct.
Uh-huh.
So your niece was the one who had this procedure done.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when did y'all actually start this policy?
It was prior to 2019. So this is 2026, so probably about 2015 or so.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's been a long
So it's been a while,
Yes, sir.
right around, average by 2015. So y'all started, is it like, tell me about this policy. What type of policy is this?
So it was a plan where if her insurance did not cover, because we'd had medical insurance or dental insurance per se, but whatever did not cover, this other insurance would cover an additional percentage of it.
The secondary insurance.
Yes,
So you
sir.
purchased a secondary insurance through Stonewood Dental.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So okay, now I'm kind of getting where you come from. So
Yes,
you've been
sir.
having this policy since your mother's been having this policy right around 2015 up until when?
Up
When-
until June of 2025, I believe, is the last statement that they drafted any funds. And that's because my mama would have put a hard stop on the payments after speaking with Stonewood Dental and deciding that they had no knowledge of the policy. My niece had went several times and she was denied coverage for that policy. And from my understanding, and I've spoken with them as well, they don't even know what the policy is.
Okay. And so did y'all have to pay out of pocket for services, or your primary insurance, whatever they didn't pick up, y'all had to pay out of pocket?
No, when she went in 2018 or 2019, my niece did have to pay out of pocket for that.
In 2018.
Yes, it was around.
So the secondary insurance did not cover anything.
No, no. And then she has been another time after that when she had to pay out of pocket as well.
So was there any stipulations to this policy, what they would cover, what they wouldn't cover, anything like that to your knowledge?
Not to our knowledge, and we no longer have a physical copy of that because it's been so long ago, and we tried to get one from Stonewood, and of course, they don't even have any recollection of it at all, of it even existing, because they didn't even know the $25 was coming out of the account. They asked us to provide them with statements to prove that it was actually coming out.
And so let me take a look at those statements.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So you have copies of that as well, right?
Yes, yes, sir, some of them.
So. And is this what the steps from educated credit union?
Yes, sir, and everything but Stonewood should be only on there 1 month and highlighted.
So throughout your years of having the secondary insurance, have they ever picked up the remaining balance after your insurance?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that.
So I don't recall the year exactly, but I know If we got it in about 2015, it probably was like that year that she got the chipped tooth, because that's why we originally signed up for the secondary, was for that chipped tooth situation. That's when it was presented to us. Over the course of she was about 15 then. So probably over the course of the next 3 years, anytime she went, they would pick up any extra overage. And we did attempt to get all of her dates of service. When I spoke with someone at Stonewood, and they were supposed to email it over to us, and then we called back again, and they later stated that they could not give us any records.
Even if you needed them for court?
Exactly. And I also provided phone call logs of us calling multiple times, trying to speak with someone there. And then there was one duration of a conversation that was 5 minutes. And that's a conversation in which they took our information down, email, and stated that they would email over what we needed. And then when we called back again, they stated that they could not give it to us.
So the phone log, did you provide that to me as well?
Yes, sir.
So that's the document that says usage details. Is this one right here?
Yes, sir. And the number ending in 7831 is my number. So that's when I would have called. And then 5604 would be my mother's number when she would have called. And of course, the number ending in 3306 is their direct line.
So little sticky notes of these.
Oh, those were just notes. We were trying to keep everything
Okay.
together.
All right, y'all can explain this to me later. Okay, so we can, I'm gonna shift your sticky notes right here.
Thank you.
Y'all can explain the sticky notes later. Okay. So your number ending in what?
7831.
So according to this, I see that you, in 7831. No, this is from June 2nd to July 1st.
Yes.
I see that. And then the other number, that's your number, Ms. McCutchen, ending in 5604.
Yes.
And that's from May 2025 to June
Mhm.
1st, 2025. And these, based on your sworn statement, this is where you were calling to request the dates of service.
Yes, sir. Dates of service and just any, recollection of how can we resolve this issue, just details overall. Yes, sir.
The dates of service, and what else was it? And just any,
Also stop asking them to stop payment on the
Requesting them to stop
$25.
payment.
Yes, sir. And then what monies could we get back or agree upon since the service had not been rendered and they've been, taking this money out of the account.
do you remember who you spoke with at the office?
I do know one time I spoke with the bookkeeper. I don't remember her name. And then after that, I left her several voicemails, as well as my mom did as well. And then one time I spoke with a young lady, I believe maybe she was front desk or something, and her name was Danielle. And she's the one who told me that she would provide me with the documents and took down my email address. And that was actually the June 13th call that was 5 minutes long, because I actually got to speak to someone and didn't leave a voicemail.
So, these text messages?
Yes,
Tell me a little bit more about the text message that you have
I
that
do.
you filed with me, that Thursday, May 29th. Is this,
I just, one text message was, that, she get back with me, but she didn't. Then when she did call me early that, I think 5 days after, she said, I was trying to call Danielle on her telephone number, but she could not because she wouldn't even know Danielle's telephone number.
So that's between her, I believe, and the bookkeeper. I don't have that in front of me. I'm not
so
sure
these
who
are,
that
I'm
is.
talking about the text messages.
Okay.
Can I see
Sure.
him, please? Thank you.
That's what your mother provided.
Okay, yes. And so anytime that you call their number and I guess it goes to voicemail or they're not available, they'll send you a text. This is their
Okay,
automatic
just
system.
automatic response.
It's just
So
proof
this
that
is
we've been calling.
Additional proof that you were calling
Yes, sir.
to request them to stop payment and or refund you the money And this was because you weren't getting the service.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you were paying for it,
Mhm.
but you weren't getting it. And you requested the dates and times of the visits so that you could actually compare to see if they were actually paying for anything.
Absolutely.
Because
Yes, sir.
sometimes your niece went without the mother.
Exactly. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so
And
you just wanted to kind of figure it out.
exactly. That's all I
Mhm.
wanted to do, and then come to a common understanding and ground of what's going on here.
Okay.
Mhm.
And just to make sure that I'm clear, the last time that you recall,
Mhm.
Mhm.
um, your niece going there and them covering
Mhm.
was about 2015, and then periodically 3 years out.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you also filed this document with me. I don't know, was this you that filed this or was it the defendant?
I'm sorry, I can't see.
Because if it was filed, I don't know if it was I see some sticky notes on y'all's. I don't know if that was,
Mm.
it might have been the defendant's. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't recall this unless it came from the bank directly, but I think it's just showing draft payments of the $25. But I don't, do you recall sending this in, membership?
No, I think that was what he gave me is showing that they have sent the money.
Okay, this may be from her bank, she said.
It's from, yeah,
Possibly.
Educator Credit Union.
Okay.
Okay.
Similar to what you have already submitted.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, in summary, tell me again why you feel like this dentist office owes you the amount of money. Why move on to the defendant?
This is because services stopped at a certain point for my niece, and she was denied the additional coverage that was being paid for. And then even after the denial, and after we spoke to them several times about stopping pulling the funds from the account, it still continued months and months after that. And after we even tried to collect additional information about the services that my niece was getting, just so that we could put everything together, we were denied that. So we're kind of left in the dark about what was going on and where the $25 was actually being allocated to or going.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the defendant. I'm going to give Mr. Childress the opportunity to defend himself. And then afterwards, we'll go back to
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Childress.
Sure.
You heard the case against you so far. I'm
Sure.
going to give you the opportunity to respond and defend yourself. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me okay, sir?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay. Do you have access to a couple of documents I had sent to your office? One is the enrollment form for the draft from their account. And then one is a placard we give the patients that explains about our program.
I do have documents that were faxed to me. It's a fax cover letter. Looks like you sent it directly to my court clerk, and I'm just gonna go over it and want to make sure that I have it. So the first page is just the hearing letter. The second page, dated February 16th, 2026. Saying that you plan on using these documents. The next page is an authorization, automated clearinghouse transaction between Stonewood Dental and Faye McCutchen for where names printed Danielle McCutchen. And the next document is it's a picture of your
Yes, sir.
defendant, and then the last page is this says no insurance way to save and healthcare. Is this what you're referencing, Mr.
Yes,
Children?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just a minute, switch. I'm about to have it down. Earbuds, let me switch. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So, I was in the Air Force for 10 years. When I got out in 96, I found that there was a problem for people who didn't have insurance. So we came up with this program some time ago, and it's actually not an insurance plan. We make it very clear it's not an insurance plan, because if you're going to have an insurance plan, you're subject to a lot of state laws and regulations that we can't take care of. So this is a membership plan. And we make it pretty clear that it's a membership plan. It's like having a membership at Gold's Gym. And whether you go or not, there's a fee for being a part of the membership. And what we tell people they get, the only thing you're guaranteed to get is 2 cleanings a year at no charge. X-rays, anything that is in that hygiene appointment is completely covered. So X-rays, sealants, doctor exam, cleaning, and they have access to 2 a year. And the $25 a month fee comes down to the fact that if people show up and just want their teeth cleaned to get an exam, we charge them $150, which is a lot cheaper than what most dental offices do, but it's a rate that we can do business with that allows people to get in the door. So $25 a month divided by 6 months, $150 divided by 6 months is $25 a month. So they're basically prepaying for their next cleaning appointment through that membership plan. If they're in that program, we have proven over the 30 years I've been here that we get patients healthy and they don't need work done. The problem for people that don't have insurance is they don't go, and minor problems become big problems, and then they decide they can't afford dentistry when it's a big problem. So the point of this program is to keep them connected into the hygiene department, and over time, we can help educate them and help them to get healthier and healthier by changing the behaviors that causes them to have decay and other problems. And if they're in the program, I allow them to buy my time at a discount that tends to save them about 50%. So I try to let them buy my time at a rate that if they'll buy an hour of my time for $500, I'll do $1,000 or $1,500 worth of work. And this is how I save people money, but they're not guaranteed anything other than 2 cleanings a year. And we make that very clear in the documentation that that they have. And there's a bunch of other reasons why we do it that way. But the point is, it's a membership plan. And if people don't come every 6 months, that's on them. We try to contact them at some point if it goes long enough and we're aware that they're not coming, rather than Gold's Gym, which will charge you for 10 or 15 years if you never show up. We'll disenroll them from the program after a long enough period of time. This young lady did not come in this program till, as you can see, she signed up, the family signed her up in June 2019. Before that, she had insurance through the Medicaid system. So there was no fees associated with that. One of the few practices that accepts Medicaid, and I've done it since 2000, try to support the community. So she started in that program then. I have no documentation of her receiving any work after, let's see, she no-showed an appointment in March of 2018, and I have no other documentation. She got some fillings done in 2019, and that's it. And so there really is not a credit balance to be built up. And like I said, you don't go to Gold's Gym after you've not gone for 6 months or a year and say, hey, I want my money back. They're like, you didn't come, that's on you. Let me see, the business was never sold. I have owned it since 1996. I'm not sure where that, there are things I've seen over the 30 years since I've left the Air Force, and actually 4 years of my career, that we can tell patients something very specifically and somehow the message is received differently. And whether that's just human nature confusion or poor communication on our part or misunderstanding on their part, I take responsibility for it, because if the patient doesn't get the information I want them to get, I take responsibility of it so I can have control of the situation and try to educate them better. But there's things that she's expressed that I don't see that we did, or I don't, it doesn't sound like anything that we would do as business, but I'm not saying that she's wrong. I'm just saying that I can't understand certain things. But the business was never sold, and nobody would ever. We did do a DBA change in about 2000 when I remodeled the practice. The corporation's Progressive Dental Center PC. It used to be called Progressive Dental Center by Dr. Cunningham back to the early 90s. I changed it with a DBA to Stonewood Dental, so we'd have a different name in the marketplace. But the business has never been sold, and the ownership has always been 100% with me ever since September of 1996. Let's see. If she didn't get records, as we said she should have, that's just a ball that should be dropped. As you know, sir, I'm certainly understand. They have access, they have legal access to everything that are their records. We don't have a bookkeeper. I'm not sure who she spoke to. We literally don't have a bookkeeper. If anybody's a bookkeeper, it's me. But this is it from my perspective, and you'll decide what you decide. But my perspective is I sell my time at a discount to patients that are in the program because I'm good at doing dental work in a rapid way that allows me to, in an efficient way that allows me to help save people money. And my goal is to not have to sell my time at 50% wages by getting people healthy. And then they come every 6 months and get their teeth cleaned. And I have $25 a month coming in as a business. And we have a number of patients that take advantage of this. We probably have $5,000 to $6,000 a month of income through this $25,000, $25 a month. And again, we if the kids are 12 years old or younger, we only charge $12.50. And everybody loves it. And this is the first time in, I don't know, 20 or 15 years I've done this that I've had this particular issue come up. But we make it very clear to people when we sign them up, it's not insurance, it's a membership program. All it does is give you access to coming every 6 months. And then I'll sell my time at a discount. I try to average 50%. And also, I do a lot of stuff for people in this program at no charge, just to support the program. If it's minor stuff, I'm like, hey, come on back, I'll take care of this. I'm not going to charge anything. And I do that for the people that are in the program. And but it's not insurance. So it's an unfortunate, from my perspective, misunderstanding. And I don't know, let's see if I have anything else. The charges stopped on June 6, 2025. As you can see, May 17th of 2019 is when they signed up for it. And that is probably all the salient information, although I'll be glad to answer any questions that you or the young lady or her mother or grandmother have.
Okay, it's mother, she's not that young, but I get you. So, just a couple of quick questions, just to make sure I have the facts as well. Can you hear me very well?
Yes.
Okay, so I do see the document that you filed with me, in regards to the authorization automated clearinghouse. Do you have the actual agreement that they signed prior to them signing this?
This is the agreement, is that authorization. By doing that authorization, and we make sure they have this placard as I gave you. That is the only documentation we have when people choose to sign up.
So what is it that they have in writing explaining the terms?
It says, well, the placard I gave you that they get that says, for $25 automatic monthly withdrawal per person, you'll become a member of Stonewood Dental Dollars program, and explains the hygiene appointment and what they're access to. And then it says, if restorative work is needed, members will have the opportunity to receive treatment for fillings, crowns, root canals, or any needed treatments at a discounted rate off our normal fees. Included is 50% off periodontal. So basically, that's the document that we give them.
So really, it's 50% off of periodontal. I don't know. Sometimes I don't have it in front of me, and so that I need to be able to determine exactly what they receive because it's part of your defense. So part of your defense is it's not a co-insurance. It's not a secondary insurance.
No, sir.
I want to make sure that I have that documentation. Is there any way you could have someone from your staff scan that in and email it to me? The actual
Sir, you have the only documents that we give people, that basically just says in this thing that it's a membership program. They get 2 cleanings for free and the possibility of getting dental work done at a discount. So you have, and the assumption I've made, maybe poorly on my part, is if they sign up for this program and they do the authorization form for the automatic clearinghouse transactions.
Okay, so you're right. So let's look at that. I do see that second page. It says, let's see here, no dental insurance. More than 1/3 do not have dental insurance. No dental insurance. So that saves teeth and gums, dollars too. Then it goes on for to say bullet points developed for patients who do not have dental insurance based on establishing a relationship with you through our preventive hygiene program. You make and keep hygiene appointments every 6 months. This hygiene appointment is all inclusive for anything that hygienists can accomplish in that appointment. Example, hygiene, cleaning, x-rays, doctor exams, sealant, fluoride, etc. If restorative work is needed, members will have the opportunity to receive treatment for fillings, crowns, root canals, and other needed treatments at a discounted rate off our normal fees. Included is a 50% off periodontal disease treatment, which is one of the more expensive dental concerns. The goal, as you stated before, and focus of Stonewall Dental is to get your teeth and gums so healthy you'll only need cleanings, no further treatment. So it's not, as you stated, an insurance policy, but it's a membership. I get that. And so the next question that I do have, and that's something that is very critical, a crucial part of this case. Why weren't they able to access what services were rendered from the time that they accessed the program or agreed to the time that they put a stop on it?
Are you asking me why didn't they receive any documentation?
Yes, sir.
I can't answer that. My office manager is ill today, other than maybe we just dropped the ball. But they certainly, patient certainly has has the right to have anything that they've requested. I have no documentation that they asked for any documentation. I understand that we have a phone system that I think it goes back to 2000. It might not go back to 2018, but it certainly goes back to 2020 or 21, where every phone call is recorded, and I can have my office manager go back and listen to everything that was on these phone calls. If she placed when she placed any phone calls here, I can research that. But I can't explain why she didn't get any documentation if she requested it from us. I don't see any particular request, but I can go back and look to see in the documentation. Like I said, last time we have her here was as per patient care was May of 2019. But I can, and then she's got some no-show appointments after that. One with the doctor for restorative work, one for hygiene. But I can't answer that question directly, sir, why she didn't receive any documentation, or even if she requested, I'll have to do some research.
Okay, and last question, I want to make sure I heard you right. If I didn't, I might have notated it incorrect. If the patient never uses the membership, will the membership cease?
At some point, yes, we will track it because patients drop out of the system all the time and then they end up calling back up. So if it goes long enough, we try to do what's it called, inventory, after enough years, 4 or 5 years. If we can't get people in, we document it and we just cease it completely. So I got this idea of this approach because I found out, because I'm a gym nut and I work out and I have a buddy that owns a gym. Gold's Gym will sell like 5,000 memberships and draw on people every month, but they can only have like a couple hundred people in the gym at one time. So how do they do that? Well, they know most people aren't going to keep coming, and so they just keep tapping the account over and over and over again. And we decided we weren't going to do that, but we were going to inventory our accounts once in a while. And if we find they haven't been there in a while, 2 or 3 years, we start calling them. But after 4 years, we just cease the 4 or 5 years, we just cease the deductions.
Was that something you have in writing, that policy, the inter-office policy that you have, whereas after so long, you would, audit the system to see, and then after 4 years, you would automatically stop drafting out of the account? Is that something you have
I
in
don't,
writing?
that is a personal policy of mine. I have nothing in there. It's just an attempt to be good to God's people. But legally, like I said, I had gyms charge my membership for 4 or 5 years before I realized I wasn't doing anything, and I had to cancel the membership. So it's an informal policy where I go through the accounts and try to look at things myself with my office manager. But do I have a regular automatic every so months I do it? No, sir. It's just trying to be diligent to take care of God's people the appropriate way.
Yes, sir.
And not take advantage of people. If they're not going to come in after a while, they don't want to keep taking their money. But again, this is, I've got a record of no-show appointments, canceled appointments, and it's life. Everybody's life is busy. I'm not throwing any shade on the fact that the young lady didn't come in, but I make myself available. I can't make people come in. I can't make people take advantage of the opportunity. If she had come on a regular basis, we would have taken care of her. She just didn't come.
Okay, and so those no-show appointments that you have, I need you to send those to me, or that should be the next part of your defense. So we're going to take a 5-minute recess. I think 5 minutes, or how long will it take you to submit those documents to me?
I will go to an administrator and try to get it print off. I think I should be able to get it done in 5 minutes. Can I have a fax number, sir, where that may have, so I don't have to look it up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The fax number is 254
254
752
752.
9526.
Did you say 9526?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 9526. I'll try to have that done shortly.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just take a brief recess. I'm going to put you back in the waiting room. Ms. McCutchen, Ms. Jones, I'm going to ask that you just step out in the lobby. We're going to take a 10-minute recess.
Okay. Could I say something, or
Not during recess.
Oh, okay.
You can speak.
Right.
The court did receive your facts, Mr. Childress. I did read over it, the documents. I reviewed it, and I gave the plaintiff the opportunity to review this as well. Unfortunately, you're just now getting this.
Mhm.
And so, with that being said, to confirm what you stated under oath, Mr. Childress, the patient in this case, which is Danielle, I wish Danielle was here.
She just started a new
She just started-
position and we didn't want to, yeah.
But based on this right here, Danielle had some type of insurance prior to enrolling in this program.
Mhm.
And based on this, the last time any transaction occurred was on December 31st, 2020, where the patient no-showed for an appointment with one of the dentists there. It does show here on June 6, 2025 at 10:53 a.m. That the patient was removed from the draft. The patient's mom was requesting a refund for all charges going back to the patient's last appointment. The person that they spoke with explained to her how the program worked, which is SBD works, and that it's not refundable. I did tell her that you meet with SAC to see if an exception could be made. The next going up, June 10th, it appears to be a little shaded out, but says here called patient's grandmother to confirm payment had been stopped from being drafted from her account, and I don't know what that means. We'll give her a call in 24 hours.
That's the initials of the office manager, Sir Lacey Schlemmer.
Okay, patient will be waiting for her call back. And then on the 12th, this is a little bit more visible, met with SAC patients. I met with SAC regarding the patient's grandmother's request to have all money for STC refunded back to her. SAC stated the program isn't set up that way and that there was no refund or credit to give. I called patient's grandmother, Faye, who had enrolled patient into the SDD back in 2019, and will let her know that the $25 monthly draft isn't refundable back, but I would refund her $500. She said that she would call her lawyer and get back with me. On July 17th, I'm not even going to, can you read that? 'Cause
Yes, sir. It's, I'm sorry, it didn't come through. It's in red ink. It says, you said July 17th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it says patient's mother has called asking for me 5 different times. The last time we spoke, I let her know. Unfortunately, since her mother stated she would be taking legal action, I let Angela McCutchen know I could not send any documentation and that I had passed this along to my office manager. And at that time, there was nothing I could do. Patient told me she wanted to have a meeting with LS, which is Lacey Schlemmer, the office manager, herself and the patient, and bring all their statements showing payment. I told Angela that I would let Lacey Schlemmer know when she got back into office Monday, July 21st. I let Angela know that Lacey Schlemmer would have to set up a meeting. Patient and Angela have been told they will not be getting a refund, so I am not sure what other answers they are looking for. And the initials were Danielle, our one of our front desk persons. I'm brain-farting our name right now, but Danielle.
Gotcha. So that's what we have, and then it does, goes on a little further, the first page talks about treatments that were rendered to the patient from 2016 up until the date that she received, became a part of the plan, membership plan. All right. All right. And is there anything else you'd like to tell me in regards to your defense, Mr. Childress?
No, sir, I think it pretty much is all I could offer that would be of any benefit to anybody, any of the parties.
So this is where we're going to just pretty much close out the case, just like I did. Before I do that, I want to ask a couple more questions before. Well, let me just do this. Like I did the plaintiff. In summary, if you could tell me why you believe you do not owe the amount of money in question. Go ahead, Mr. Childers.
I created a membership plan that gives people the opportunity to get healthy by coming on a regular basis, have access to our practice in a way that saves them money. The one thing I didn't mention is most dental offices offer a plan, their own in-office plan. It's really just a pre-play plan. It doesn't save patients money. I tried to create something that would help people to save money and be able to afford getting good dentistry done, built through regularly scheduled every 6-month hygiene appointments, and then have an opportunity to have discounted here at my discount, which working at less money to try to get them healthy. My game is to get them healthy, and then I have to discount my services after that. But if people don't come, like I said, it's like a gym membership. If they don't come, people can't complain that they don't work out at the gym and get their money back. All I can do is offer. You know, lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And there's been some miscommunication here, and I don't begrudge anybody or any of the parties. It's just I've done what I've done to try to take care of the community and make things possible to make it easier for them financially. And that's probably not much more I can do other than any suggestions you have, sir, for documentation differently.
Okay, thank you. And I just looking over your sticky notes.
I think we're just
yeah,
taking notes,
just
yeah.
everything. Okay, and to you, Ms. Jones and you, McCutchen, you're just now receiving this documentation. You know, tell me again, based on what you just now received, why do you again feel like he owes you the $1,800 that the
Okay.
1825?
You want me to talk?
So,
Okay.
there, I don't know if there's anything missing in here or not, but from my recollection, there is. I believe that Danielle has, from my understanding, has called, made appointments, but they have told her that she was going to have like out-of-pocket expenses, or that this, what we believe to be secondary insurance, was not going to cover. And she has went in before and it did not cover. Also with the notes, I'm the one who spoke with the front desk person, possibly Danielle, but what she told me is that she would send me over the documents. I was never called back again to state that they couldn't send them. We just never got it. And then once, you know, and I did request a conversation with, I believe, maybe Miss Lacey. I knew her as a bookkeeper, according to them, but maybe she's an office manager, just so that we could all get on the same page and that we could, you know, get this type of documentation in front of us so we could actually know what was going on. I feel like there was a lot of miscommunication or no communication on their
Right,
parts. As you can see, how many times we tried contacting them. If they would have just simply presented maybe the package that they presented to you so we could even know what exactly was the program, nothing was explained. It was more like they didn't know what it was. They asked us to bring in proof of the $25 being drafted, as if we needed to fight our case to them that this was actually happening.
Your cousin, your niece?
My niece,
Your
yes, sir.
I know that she couldn't be here today.
Yes. And she was a minor at the time that all this first took place.
Yeah, she was a minor. And the lady told me, the bookkeeper, she said she was a bookkeeper. She said, well, I talked to him and he said he would give you $125 back. And I told her, no, that's not going to go. Well, we're going to go back to the meeting again.
And
I said, well, what is his name? Can I talk to him? But she would never let me talk to him. Then she called back, I think 5 days later, and she said, oh, he said he'll give you a $725. And that's when I told her, no, I'm getting a lawyer.
Like, we could never get clear communication. It wasn't, it says 500 here in the notes, but what my mom said what she presented was 725.
Yes.
And it was also previously something else. But we just wanted to sit down so we can all have clear communication about what was going on.
But
again, when did y'all actually become aware that she could not use this? What day?
It was
what month?
It was, so from my understanding, the first time that she was, so I believe in 2019, all of it, a lot of it, some of it was not covered that we thought it was going to be, but that was fine. After that, it was right in COVID time or right before COVID. And she had made an appointment to go in, and from my understanding, some services wasn't covered. Then, so I don't know if that was exactly
Right.
because of they're telling her that some things were not going to be handled or wasn't going to be
What
paid
was
for.
she was trying to get done?
I believe it was like maybe the same feeling of like the chipped tooth situation because that feeling
right.
doesn't stay all the time. And after
Right.
so many years, it wears because
Yeah.
it's the very front tooth.
That's why that dentist told me, take it out because a chipped tooth and should be coming in for cleaning or whatever. And a couple of times I called, only thing I got like with a fax machine.
Or voice message.
Yeah,
type
voice
of
message,
thing.
but it wouldn't say anything, it was just a fax machine. Then when I went there in person, the bookkeeper one day she was not there. The next day the lady said, oh yeah, well she's sick, she's not coming in. Then when I finally caught her, no one can find any kind of paperwork or anything like that.
Yeah, it took them time to actually
Yeah,
find even
right.
what we were talking about,
Mhm.
you know, what the program was. And this went on for months
For months. And
of us going up there, calling, you know, just, and
Right.
if we could have simply just had the information that was presented today, everyone could have had a better understanding of what was going on. But this has been lengthy.
and couldn't find her name in the computer at all. Her name was not in the computer. The lady told me, well, I'm looking, give me your telephone number.
We'll call you back.
I will call you back. But then they never call you back. And then when the bookkeeper did call me, she's like, oh, he's gonna give you $125. And then she just was laughing, you know. And I said, oh no, that's not gonna go. Then she called me back. Well, I was trying to call Danielle, but I didn't have her number.
Well, you wouldn't because she was a minor when she
Right. I
signed
didn't
up.
have her number. What number you calling? And I had my number ever since for a long time. So we just couldn't get anything out of her. And I requested to talk to the dental. She wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah, we just wanted to.
She said, oh, I was just gonna go back in. I was gonna take it right back to a meeting. We're gonna have a meeting today. But the thing is, she just never could pinpoint what was going on. Do you know who I am? She doesn't, but she should have had the paperwork, everything we done. If I walk into him today, he wouldn't know me and I wouldn't know him because I never got a chance to talk to him.
Sir, would you get a chance? I'd like to say something.
Sure. Most times you won't. It's sad to say. Just like someone comes to my office, I want to talk to the judge. A lot of people are like, I know judge. He my classmate. They gonna stop him right there.
Right.
Be like, what you need him for?
Yes, sir. But
And
even
so it's kind of one of those things where you're not gonna talk to the head
Yeah.
judge.
yeah, but even like the bookkeeper herself, we
Bookkeeper.
requested a meeting with
Yeah.
her just to get the paper, you know.
And
It was nothing.
it was nothing.
And she did not call me back directly at all. This
No.
message is false, right?
You know,
It needs to be-
you can see on the paper where I just asked her, you know, did I miss your phone call or whatever? Because you never get back in touch with me, you know? And I was trying to do everything I could to try to get this thing settled. But you know,
And then y'all, of course, y'all knew nothing about the purging and office policy that he just explained.
Nothing. That was never presented to
It was
us
never.
during any of these conversations. And
Mm-mm.
you can see the links of the conversation. So most of the time we spoke to no one.
yeah,
So
All right.
I mean,
Mr.
it's just
Childress,
awful.
go ahead, sir.
Sir, I've been here since September of 1996. Pretty much since that time, I've handed out my cell phone number to almost every single patient. And certainly since COVID, because we had a huge increase in demand and we were having trouble with our phone system, I handed out my cell phone number on my business card to every single patient that I've interacted with in hygiene and in anybody I see chairside for dental treatment or toothaches or whatever. On top of that, for about 15 years, maybe 20 years, I pulled call every single night. I'm on call 365 days a year. And anybody that calls after hours, the number comes to me. So I've made myself extremely available in ways that most dentists don't to the public. And I've never gotten a call. And you know, my team knows what I've tried to do for 30 years in terms of trying to take care of God's people. And I'm not saying there's not frustrations and miscommunication, but I create a program that clearly is a membership program. And I am available. And I've never had a call directly from any individual. I have people that, as you said, filter, because I get salesmen that come and I get people that walk in. I can't even have my car parked outside that's recognizable and do paperwork because people will come in and insist on seeing me because they, even if I'm not seeing patients that day, because I'm universally available. I'm up here 6 days a week. I'm very sorry for everybody involved at their frustrations, but I know I did the right thing. And there's some things that were stated just now that I'm not gonna imply that anybody's not being truthful, because everybody's under oath, and I believe they are being truthful, but this just doesn't represent anything that I have documented or anything that we've done over the years. So I feel bad for the frustration, but I know I've created a program that benefits people and they haven't taken advantage of it the way they should have. And it's an unfortunate misunderstanding. And I'm just saying that the things that were represented just now and some of the statements were made, I don't agree with. And I just want to get that on record.
Okay.
May I say anything? And so if a $500 was presented, it seems like maybe the office manager would have presented this to her higher up in order to approve this. Not sure. But at that time, he would have had knowledge of what was going on. And I feel like maybe a phone call from that time point, since he's available to all of his patients, could have been made to us to handle that situation, if he's that available to his patients. And he knows that this was an escalated situation, that there is no tone in the system that we were having concerns with. And that's it.
You know what, sir? I apologize. There's one other thing that she mentioned earlier that I have to respond to if you'll give me an opportunity, and I know she'll want to respond to it as well. Do I have permission?
I'll give you one opportunity, final opportunity to respond. Go ahead.
Okay. Part of the reason I came here 30 years ago was because Dr. Cunningham, who started practice in 1980, had a policy. She never turned anybody away that was in pain because of money. And we have had that policy ever since I've been here. Anybody that's in the program, I never turn them away. I never deny services to anybody. As far as if they have a need. I never tell people, certainly if they're in that program, we will not see you, we will not honor the commitment. It's never happened. So, you know, again, there's no documentation. Somebody came in and we refused to see them or refused to provide services. So there's statements that are being made that just don't seem to be consistent with what I've tried to do for 30 years. And that was the only thing. I guess that might be the final thing. You know, everybody involved, I'm committed to this process, but I've had people waiting for me for 2 hours. I've had toothaches. I've told them, I'm sorry, I've got to go take care of this. And so whenever we can get all the information out there so I can go take care of the patients but waiting to get a pain, I'll be more than willing to do it.
I just want to, for the record, what I didn't hear that you refused. I heard that the patient chose not to go for the visit because she assumed that this was an insurance policy, and that's the purpose of the no-show. Not trying to discredit you and your business.
Yes, sir. I understand.
That's what I heard.
I stand corrected.
In the case, cause number J2V25-0732. The court has been ruling in favor for the plaintiff. However, it's not going to be for the amount that you requested, ma'am. The court is going to rule in your favor for damages amount of $750. I don't have to explain, but I took two things into consideration. One, the statements that you provided under oath that they did agree to pay roughly $700. Two, the statements that were provided by you, Mr. Childress, that after a certain time frame, you do go in and purge your systems and stop the drafting. There's a lot of information, a lot of witnesses that I wish could be here to testify, such as the office manager and so forth, as well as your granddaughter, but they weren't here. So I have to base it on what I have been presented. Now, with that being said, to you, Mr. Childress, on behalf of Stonewood Dental, you have the opportunity to appeal the court's decision. If you do choose to appeal the court's decision, you would have to post an appeals bond of $1,788. You have 21 days from today's date to appeal the court's decision. Judgment mailed to both parties and the addresses of record. Court adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.